Have you ever felt that subtle pull, that whisper, that maybe there's more to life than what you're currently experiencing?
Uh,
We often imagine profound personal transformation as this sudden dramatic event, a lightning bolt moment.
yeah, the big flash.
Exactly. But what our source material reveals and what we're really diving into today is that it's rarely a single flash. It's more of a journey.
A process.
So, okay, let's unpack this. Today, we're embarking on a deep dive into what the source calls the 12 stages of spiritual awakening.
Hmm.
Think of it less as a rigid checklist, though, and more like a kind of vibrant, evolving map.
Yeah, a map to understand that often mysterious process of deep personal growth.
Right.
And it's really crucial to understand from the get-go that our source doesn't present this as some straight linear path. Not at all.
Okay.
Instead, it frames awakening as profoundly personal, gradual, and actually cyclical, almost like a spiral.
A spiral.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And each stage offers its own unique wisdom, its own purpose. It invites us to really listen, reflect and grow as we move through them.
So our mission today, really, is to explore these stages.
Yeah.
Maybe so you can recognize your own experiences reflected in them wherever you might find yourself.
Uh-huh.
And truly to understand that there is no right or wrong place to be on this path. Your unique journey is exactly that. Yours.
Absolutely. It's so personal.
Okay, so let's begin. We start our exploration in a place many of us are probably very familiar with, what the source describes as the sleeping state.
Mm-hmm. The sleeping state.
This is where life often operates on autopilot, right?
Yeah.
Guided by routines, societal roles, external achievements, maybe inherited expectations.
Yeah, checking the boxes.
Exactly. On the surface, for many, everything might look perfectly fine, even objectively successful. You're waking up, doing the work.
You got the job, the house.
Right. All seems okay.
But what's truly insightful here, what the source points out, is the subtle undercurrent beneath that seemingly stable surface. Even with all that outward success, there can be this quiet emptiness or a subtle longing, maybe a restless feeling that's hard to put your finger on.
That unnamed thing.
Exactly. And the source notes that many people comfortably reside in this state for their entire lives, not because they're lost necessarily, but maybe just because they aren't ready for that next step yet.
And that's okay.
And that in itself is completely valid, perfectly okay.
But for some, right, that quiet comfort eventually,
Yeah.
it gives way. A crack appears in the facade.
Uh-huh.
Maybe a profound sadness, a personal crisis,
Yeah.
a significant loss, or perhaps just a moment of unexpected stillness that stirs something deep within.
Mm-hmm. That little disturbance.
This, the source notes, is the first tender whisper of awakening.
The very first hint.
And that initial whisper often leads us directly into the next phase,
Mm.
the cracking open.
Right.
This, where life, which once felt so incredibly stable, maybe predictable, suddenly feels fragile, maybe even shattered.
Yeah, like the ground shifts beneath you.
The source emphasizes that this stage is frequently triggered by pain. A relationship ending, maybe a betrayal, a major loss, an unexpected illness, or a significant professional setback.
Those big life events.
Yeah, and these events aren't just disruptive. They actively shake the very foundation of who you thought you were.
Mm-hmm.
They force you to confront those big, unsettling questions. Why did this happen? What is my purpose now?
And a vital perspective from our material here is that this intense internal shift, even though it feels disorienting, maybe painful,
Yeah, very vulnerable.
it leads to vulnerability, heightened sensitivity, but it isn't a breakdown. The source is clear on that. It's framed as a breakthrough.
A breakthrough, okay.
Yeah, it's the old self, the old structures, actively making space for your truest self to finally emerge. It can be incredibly disorienting, yes, but it's really a profound invitation.
An invitation to something new.
Exact.
Okay, so after that initial, often jarring, cracking open, a deep hunger for meaning tends to ignite. And that brings us to the seeking stage. Suddenly you find yourself searching everywhere for answers.
Everywhere. Books, teachers.
Books, spiritual teachers, ancient traditions, modern science.
Bye.
Yeah, even podcasts like this one become vital resources.
Absolutely. We're gathering information.
And you might also start noticing synchronicities, those meaningful coincidences that feel like more than just random chance.
Yes. The universe winking at you.
Kind of. Hinting that the universe itself is alive and maybe responding to your inquiry.
Now, while this stage can be incredibly exhilarating, a key insight the source offers is that it can also become, well, overwhelming.
Information overload.
Totally. There's just so much out there. And the real lesson of seeking, according to the source, isn't about finding definitive, final answers out there.
Okay.
Instead, it's more about learning to tune into and trust your own inner compass, discerning what truly resonates with your evolving truth.
Learning to listen inwards.
Precisely.
So as you continue to seek, you inevitably move into breaking illusions. At this point, nearly everything you once held as absolute truth begins to, well, unravel.
Yeah, the old stories start to crumble.
Those stories you believed, the societal systems you trusted, maybe the rules you lived by, even the identities you clung to. They all start to feel like costumes you don't want to wear anymore.
Like masks.
Exactly. You begin seeing through the masks people wear, the fear-based narratives society often pushes, and the subtle power structures that maybe unknowingly kept you confined.
And what our source clarifies about this stage is that it can be both profoundly liberating and utterly terrifying.
I can imagine. Liberating and terrifying.
Yeah, because the ego, your sense of self as you've known it, it really resists this dismantling. It fears losing its identity, its home.
Understandable.
But this isn't destruction. The source frames it as a powerful revelation. You're actively letting go of all that is not you.
Clearing space.
Clearing space for a more direct, authentic experience of reality.
And sometimes that intense stripping away leads directly into what many describe as the most challenging phase, the dark night of the soul.
Ah, yes. The dark night.
The source depicts it as feeling like complete darkness. A silence so profound, it seems to swallow everything you once believed in.
Wow.
And it's really crucial to understand, the source stresses this. This isn't clinical depression, though it can feel incredibly similar sometimes.
Right, that's an important distinction.
It's presented more as a sacred, ancient process of purification. It sounds incredibly tough, though.
It absolutely is. And the source emphasizes that during this period, the signs, the synchronicities, the guidance that maybe once lit your path, they seem to vanish.
Oh, wow. So you feel alone.
Utterly alone, questioning even your very existence sometimes. But the deeper understanding here is that this is perhaps the universe's way of stripping away everything that is false or extraneous.
Preparing you
For something truly authentic and sacred. The profound lesson really is that healing doesn't always look like light. Sometimes it demands navigating the deepest darkness.
That's a powerful reframe. Healing looking like darkness sometimes. Okay, so emerging from that profound storm, we arrive at surrender and stillness.
Ah, a shift.
Yes. Here, the intense struggle softens. You find yourself naturally stopping the fight, stopping that relentless pursuit of answers or control.
Letting go.
Exactly. Instead, you begin to allow yourself to simply be, learning to sit with the unknown, with all your feelings, without that urgent need to fix or change anything.
And the powerful insight from the source here is that surrender isn't about giving up in resignation. It's not passive.
Okay.
It's an active letting go, releasing control, releasing expectations, releasing that incessant need to predict or know what comes next.
That need to know.
Right. And in this profound stillness, peace isn't something you chase externally anymore. It naturally arises from within once you stop the pursuit.
It rises when you stop chasing. I like that.
Yeah.
Following that period of quiet stillness comes reconnection. Here, a deep sense of being part of something much greater starts to stir quietly within you.
A sense of belonging.
Yes. Your heart begins to open. Love feels less like just an emotion and more like a state of being, maybe.
A way of being in the world.
And those meaningful synchronicities, they start returning, reflecting your inner shifts in the outer world again.
And when we connect this to the broader picture, this stage involves a significant reconnection with your own body, first and foremost.
Right, embodiment.
Yeah, and your intuition, your emotions. It's not about escaping them, but about truly listening to what they're telling you. Relationships often transform during this time as well. And there's often a strong, undeniable call towards creative expression or genuine service.
That pull outwards again, but different.
Exactly. This stage, in essence, is about embracing wholeness, truly being real, and being fully present to the entirety of life, the good, the bad, the messy.
Being present to all of it. Okay. As that reconnection deepens and expands, we move to inner alignment.
Alignment.
This is where your inner world, your values, your truth, your soul's whispers, and your outer life really start to harmonize.
Things start clicking into place.
Yeah. You start living with a deeper sense of integrity, making choices that genuinely align with who you are at your core.
That gap closes.
That often painful gap between who you are inside and how you show up in the world, it starts to gracefully close. But Practically speaking, what does that kind of daily dance of listening and adjusting look like?
That's a really great question because the source definitely emphasizes that alignment isn't a destination you just arrive at.
Right, not a checkbox.
No. It's a continuous daily practice. It's about consistently checking in with yourself, making subtle adjustments, listening, and returning to your authentic core again and again.
And constant tuning.
Exactly. And when you commit to this practice, the material suggests that life naturally begins to flow with far more ease and grace, almost as if the universe itself starts cooperating with your newfound internal harmony.
Like paddling downstream instead of upstream.
Precisely.
Okay. With that deep alignment perhaps becoming more established, you often discover what the Source calls the emergence of soul gifts.
Ah, yes. The gifts.
These are described as maybe ancient abilities or innate talents that have always resided within you, simply waiting for the right conditions, the right moment to be awakened.
Things you maybe didn't know you had.
Yeah, like heightened intuition, maybe a profound sensitivity to energy, natural healing capabilities, or just a surge of incredible creativity.
And a crucial point the source makes about these gifts is that they aren't for performance, not for showing off or for external validation.
Okay, so what are they for?
Their true purpose, according to the source, is for service and deeper connection. The more you acknowledge and honor these emerging gifts, the more they naturally unfold. And you find yourself becoming, in a way, a powerful bridge between different worlds, a vessel through which spirit can truly move and express itself.
Becoming a bridge. That's beautiful. After the emergence of these perhaps quite profound gifts, a quieter yet incredibly significant stage arrives. Integration.
Right. Quieter but deep.
This is where everything you've experienced, all those insights, those transformations, begins to root itself deeply and steadily into your everyday life.
Bringing it down to earth.
Exactly. This stage isn't about chasing cosmic highs or peak experiences. It's about cultivating steadiness and a grounded presence, becoming truly whole, and ensuring your inner truth consistently aligns with your outer actions, moment by moment.
And what the source truly clarifies about integration is that it's about stopping the separation, Stopping separating the spiritual from the practical.
Ah, interesting. Not keeping them in different boxes.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that every single moment, even washing the dishes, every mundane task can be a spiritual moment. It encourages embracing both your light and your shadow, understanding that true wisdom becomes like muscle memory.
Muscle memory.
Yeah. You simply live the answers you once desperately sought, often effortlessly. It's just how you are.
It becomes part of you. Then you reach embodiment. This sounds like a powerful point where you no longer just talk about the spiritual path or think about it. You live it.
You are it.
Yeah. The profound truth you've awakened to becomes your natural default way of being. You move through life with a quiet, undeniable power, honoring your authenticity in every interaction.
And the fascinating aspect of embodiment, according to the source, is exactly that, moving through life with a calm, quiet power. There's no need to hide anymore or diminish yourself.
No need to perform.
No. Your very presence begins to speak volumes before you even utter a word. You become the living bridge between spirit and matter, the divine and the everyday experience.
Wow, the living bridge.
Yeah.
Finally, this journey, as mapped by the source, arrives at service and purpose.
The culmination.
Here, the healing and growth you've undergone naturally extend beyond yourself. Your personal transformation becomes a light for others, in whatever form that takes.
It ripples outwards.
Yeah, and your presence becomes a blessing, driven by something sacred stirring deep within your core.
And this is such a beautiful culmination. The source clarifies, though, that purpose doesn't always have to manifest in dramatic, grand gestures.
Okay, good to know.
It doesn't have to be saving the world, Sometimes it's as simple as being fully present for someone who's hurting, holding compassionate space.
Or creating beauty.
Or creating beauty in your immediate surroundings, exactly. Service, in this context, isn't about sacrifice or martyrdom. It's described more as an overflow.
An overflow.
Yeah, the natural extension of a soul that's filled with its own truth and love. It just spills out naturally.
That makes sense.
And the profound takeaway here is that your presence, just your being, is enough. Your unique path is sacred. And your very being is already a gift to the world.
Your being is already a gift. That's a lovely thought to hold on to.
It really is.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, The core understanding from our source material really solidifies this, doesn't it? The
Oh,
12 stages of spiritual awakening are not some rigid ladder you have to climb perfectly,
not at all.
but truly a spiral, a sacred, continuous unfolding unique to your soul.
Absolutely. And it's completely normal to revisit stages. You might walk through a dark night more than once, perhaps from a different perspective.
Or circle back to seeking.
Exactly. Circle back to seeking with new questions. There's no rush, there's no race, and there's certainly no final destination where the journey just stops.
It keeps unfolding.
hmm Ultimately, what the source material really helps us remember is that awakening is truly about returning. Again and again, returning to your own inherent truth and light.
It's a remembering process.
It's a continuous process of remembering who you truly are beneath all the layers.
So wherever you find yourself right now, whatever stage resonates, maybe just honor it, embrace it.
Yes.
The truth is, you are exactly where your soul needs to be on this incredible journey. Let your own deep dive be gentle, be real, and be uniquely yours.